Today we're talking all about self-care, including why it's important, what holds us back, and how to include it in our own lives. Let's get started. Today I want to talk about self-care. I think it's something that we all hear almost every day in marketing materials and social media, but rarely do we actually take a moment to think about what that means and how to incorporate it into our own lives. So that's what we're going to discuss today. And if you want to dive deeper into this topic, I will have an episode all about this on my podcast where we go just a little bit deeper, and you can find the link for that below. So when we talk about why self-care is important, we really need to talk about why it's important to take care of ourselves. We are very resilient beings. Our bodies and our minds are actually very resilient. We ask a lot of them and they give a lot back. But we need to do something for ourselves in return. Otherwise, we are at some point going to hit a limit. And that is when things like injuries can occur. So I can tell you from a physical perspective, a lot of times people go, go, go. They don't do the small little things they need to keep their bodies healthy. And at some point, an injury will happen. And typically, it's doing something that you've done 100 times, but your body, again, has just hit that capacity of what it can do without being taken care of, and something will happen like an injury. It can happen in all different areas of our lives, but if we're not doing anything to take care of ourselves mentally and physically, we very likely will hit some limit in the future where we find that we have an injury or an issue that we have to deal with. So for me, from an exercise and fitness perspective, I think of it as making deposits into a health bank. So every time that I move my body, every time I do my own physical therapy exercises, every time I stretch, every time I take time to do those things, I think of it as making an investment or a deposit into my health bank. So I don't necessarily see those results right away, but again, at some point, I am going to be thankful that I have done those things to take care of my body, because I will be better set up to be able to handle things that might come my way in the future. If I get diagnosed with something, if I have another surgery, I've had multiple surgeries, and every time I have a surgery, I truly recover faster because of that self-care work that I have done to lead up to that point. There have actually been multiple research studies done on self-care and how people who report taking care of themselves on a regular basis have shown better outcomes both mentally and physically. So one specific study actually worked with medical students who are typically under a lot of stress. And those who reported doing regular self-care activities showed much more resilience and much less mental and physical stress. So by taking care of yourself, you're going to help yourself in so many different ways. You're going to help yourself physically, so you're going to have improved energy. You're going to have better injury prevention. You're going to be able to sleep better. You're also mentally going to find that you have less stress, less anxiety. You can actually help your frustration levels. For me personally, I can say when I am showing myself some self-care and taking care of myself, I have much more patience for those around me, especially my family. So if you're like me and you find yourself maybe with a shorter and shorter fuse, it might be that you need to take a little time to take care of yourself. So let's talk about what holds us back from doing this, because I think this is where we get really into the important part of the matter, because all of us on paper would agree, sure, it's important to take care of myself, yes, but then do we actually do it? So one of the top things that people say that limits them from taking care of themselves would be time. We're just too busy. I 100% understand. I can't say how many times I've gotten to the end of the day and just said to myself, well, I didn't have time today to do that. I didn't have time to drink my water. I didn't have time to journal. I didn't have time to move my body. I didn't have time to do all of these things. I definitely didn't have time to take a hot bath like the marketing people tell me I should for self-care. So time really is one of the top ones. So if you say that you are too busy for self-care, I understand you are not alone, and we're going to talk about some ways to work through that. Another limiting factor with taking care of ourselves is money. This also is a very true issue, and this is another thing that culturally we need to work on. In marketing, when we talk about self-care, a lot of times there are things that cost money. So yes, you might be in a place where socioeconomic status and finances feel like they limit you from taking care of yourself. And here too, I want you to reframe it a little bit and realize that we're going to separate that idea of traditional self-care activities to doing things that actually will take care of you. And we'll give some examples going forward of things that don't cost any money at all that you can do for yourself. The third thing that holds us back from taking care of ourselves is guilt. This is a big one. We typically, and women especially, feel guilty for doing anything for ourselves. I hear this from clients all the time, and just this week got a message from a woman who was trying to do her workout. She started feeling guilty from her spouse who was talking about needing to play with the kids. She felt so bad about taking the time for herself that she stopped doing it for the rest of the week. We put that on ourselves, and also, yes, society can put it on us as well. So realize, really look intentionally at how you feel, what might be holding you back, and notice if it is a feeling of guilt, because that is definitely something to work through. You are worth taking care of. It's worth spending time or whatever energy or attention you need to take care of yourself. And then the final thing I notice that tends to hold us back is pride. So we really feel in this busy go, go, go society, we take pride in being busy. We take pride in not getting sleep, right? How many people say, oh, I only got 4 hours of sleep last night, I'm fine. We really look at it as this badge of honor when we're too busy, sleep deprived, when we need coffee all day, we kind of see it as this badge of honor. So realize that yes, whatever place in life you are in, you're doing a great job, and you also deserve to take care of yourself, because at some point, your nervous system, your body will not be able to sustain that level of go, go, go unless you are doing things to take care of yourself. So finally, I want to talk about some tools and some actionable tips you can take starting today to start taking care of yourself. Because again, realistically, I personally actually do not relate to that big message out there about hot bubble baths and lighting candles and journaling every day and meditating and having a morning routine. Those things are amazing and wonderful. I don't relate to them because they don't work in my current season of life. Ever since I had my first daughter, I have not had a morning routine except waking up early with the kids and changing diapers or getting them ready for school or making school lunches. That doesn't make sense to me, and I wish it would. And I simply feel more guilt when I feel like I can't do it and keep up. So I'm saying that to say if you feel the same, it's okay. Because self-care, taking care of ourselves, looks different for everyone, and it will also look different in different seasons of life. I look forward to having a calm morning routine again someday, but I'm not putting my pressure on myself to do it now, and I'm also not saying, well, I guess I can't just take care of myself, because I can. I can fit it in different ways. So for me personally, how I take care of myself is I set aside time to move every single day. That's a non-negotiable in my life. Now the thing is, I don't know what that's gonna look like. It might not be at the gym, because again, I'm busy like you are. It might be on the floor next to my kids while they play or they do their homework. It might be only 20 minutes a day. It might be like today, actually, we went to the park and we played baseball, the 4 of us together, our family, and I ran around and that was my movement. But that is a non-negotiable because I know that mentally and physically, I feel better at the end of the day when I have done that. And that to me is a big indicator of what your self-care should look like. It should be something that brings your nervous system down, meaning it feels calming to you. It doesn't increase your stress. You're not driving through traffic to get there. You're not feeling the whole time anxious because you've taken time from something else. So it really should feel like something doable for you, and something that calms your nervous system while you're doing it. So that's a big piece of it. Also, don't put pressure on yourself to think it needs to be more than 3 minutes. Another little self-care that I have had during certain seasons of my life have been making a coffee, drinking it in my car by myself while I wait to pick up my kids from school. That takes 3 to 5 minutes, but just that moment to breathe, that moment between transitioning from work to mom, where I can have my coffee while it's still hot in the car, that is a big one. It has been, at least in the past, for me. So don't put big expectations on it. Realize we're all different. Yours is going to look different than mine. Sometimes self-care for me again just means 5 minutes sitting in the sun outside between clients. And I know at this point in my life that that's important to me, so I make it happen. Same with a lunch break. If I actually have a lunch break and it's beautiful outside, even if I'm in a workshop with other people and colleagues, I take 30 minutes to go on a walk in the sun than I do to sit, and I'd rather do that than sit in a dark restaurant. But that's just me. I know that about myself now, and that's my self-care, because then I can come back into the group, I can give what I've got, I've been rejuvenated and refreshed. So those are the important things about self-care, is how do they work in your lifestyle realistically? Make sure they don't make you feel guilty or stressed or bad about doing it. All of those things that I just mentioned are basically free, except maybe my cup of coffee. So you can do it without spending money. Don't let any company or marketer out there make you feel like you have to purchase something for self-care. You don't. Self-care comes from you and you alone. Time is a hard one, but think about how you can multitask. So another one for me that really can help is making playlists of my favorite music. So if I have to drive in traffic, I might not be able to change that, but I can put on a playlist instead of listening to a stressful podcast. That's one I've realized lately that's important to me. So instead of listening to the news or listening to those podcasts that might stress me out, I put on a playlist of my favorite songs, and it actually, at the end of the day, has helped me feel energized, has helped me connect to something important to me, and that is self-care as well. So I hope today gave you some tips and tricks and tools to, 1, realize that self-care is important, 2, realize that you deserve it. You are worthy of taking care of yourself. And 3, it's going to look different for all of us. Whatever it is, 2 minutes or 60 minutes, whatever you have time for, remember, you're important. You can find what is important to you. Find tools that you can use to help, so that in the future, as life throws curveballs our way, we are more resilient and better prepared for those. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I'll talk to you soon.